look forward to Fridays. Usually it's to be with my friend Tim Tebow. Here's the problem. He'll always be my friend. I'm not sure I'm going to be his friend after he hears what I have to say about Florida. Oh, Lord, y'all in trouble. Y'all in a world of trouble, Tim Tebow. You hear me? You hear me talking to you, man?
I do hear you. It's very hard, though, over how loud that tie is. And, of course, you would be on this weekend wearing a crimson tie. You know what? It's cool, man. I remember when I jumped on a bandwagon. Come on.
Wow. I guess that's my cue to say first.
Mic drop. Just go. Go.
He got me, didn't he?
Bad.
And Dustin Hopkins takes...
Oh, it's a feel-good Friday. As you saw, Tim Tebow gracing our screens. Common will be with us later. Ryan Clark will join us.
That's right.
Stephen A. Smith.
Hey.
I'm Molly Karen Rose. Happy Friday. How we feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go. I was in a better mood about 2 minutes ago. I didn't know my brother was going to get at me like that. But that's all right. It's okay.
It's just a start.
Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. No, first, tell everybody it's a new day here on First Take. We want to remind them one last time.
Absolutely. We want to do that. Obviously, it's a new day. Max Kellerman has transitioned the morning show with Keyshawn and Jay Williams, plus his own show. This just in on every Friday on every day on ESPN
Yep.
from 2 to 3 p.m. Here, you and I will remain here. We'll have a potpourri of contributors and analysts every Friday. My man Tim Tebow's here. Every Monday, Michael Irvin's here. Swagoo, Keyshawn, Jeff Saturday, Dan Orlovsky, Mina Kimes, Kimberly Martin. The list goes on and on. Plus, stars from the world of sports and entertainment who wanted to get at me. Obviously, Common is one of those people. My condolences to him in advance. He'll be on a little bit later. Today is Tim Tebow's day. I saw the way he came at me. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Giants Nation,
yeah.
It's bad.
I kind of.
I know, no offense to you guys, everyone's going 0-2. This is again, it's a broken record. The Giants doing this again. But at the end of the day, only people we got is those guys in the locker room. And we got to look in each other's face and say we got to stop it. And we got to figure out a way to stop it. We got to go with the coaches, got to come to work every single day. And when we get the opportunities to win games, to finish games, capitalize.
I love the fans. I appreciate all their support. And the fact that they're having a gut punch on that, that means they're invested with us right there. It means they're staying with us right there and watching us fight and battle and following some of those emotional highs and lows of the game. Look, where I can
take the highs and lows anymore. No circumstantial living for me. Stephen A., who's to blame for the Giants' loss?
Well, I don't want to really say anybody's to blame. It was a good game. It was hard fought and what have you. But if I got to point the finger at anybody, it's going to be at Coach Joe Judge, who I'm a fan of. I like Joe Judge a lot and what have you. I think that he's a damn good coach. I've seen what I've seen from him with the New York Giants. As far as I'm concerned, dating back from last year, practically every week, they got better and better, and that's the mark of a good coach as far as I'm concerned. But if you look at a couple of things that transpired, it was 2 offsides penalties late in the fourth quarter, particularly that last one with the game-winning field goal on the line. Lawrence jumps offside, and as a result, they got a second shot at the field goal, and they ultimately made it. This guy got the head coaching job. What did he do before he arrived in New York, Tim Tebow? He was
special teams coach. Hear you blaming Joe Judge. I don't think this is on Joe Judge. I think it is on the missed opportunities of the Giants. And you don't think Joe Judge had told the defensive line, hey, watch the football, watch the football, watch the football. Of course he said that. But eventually it has to be up to the players to go out and execute that, especially at those critical times. But I also feel like a little bit was like, hey, it's sort of Joe Judge, but it wasn't, is what you're saying. So which one was it?
It is Joe Judge. I was just trying to be nice because I'm on the air with Tim Tebow. That's what I was trying to do. It is Joe Judge. Okay, let me be very, very clear about that. And here's the reason why. Again, when we look at the New England Patriots and the greatness of Bill Belichick and his coaching staff for years and years and years, what do we religiously point it to? The meticulous tendencies that they exercise on a constant basis. He'll make you do stuff over and over and over again. Attention to detail, making sure above all else you don't beat yourself. You do your job. You do the things that you're supposed to do. You master the art of your particular craft. So, again, of course, the player can't be absolved because they're the ones that made the error. But if you're a special teams guy and you lose a game on the last play of the game because of a special teams error, I made the error. But you're the head coach of the New York Giants. It's the 5th consecutive season you're starting out 0-2. You've only been there for 2 years now. You started off 0-2. You're in a hole already. We get all of that. In the end, you cannot make the errors that they make. And the fact that we're pointing to errors says to me that the meticulous tendencies that he comes from, that he emanates from, haven't been exercised or mastered with the New York Giants as of yet?
Listen, if we're using the analogy of the New England Patriots, well, when you really look at the Patriots, the reason why they've been better than everybody else is because on third down in the red zone, when they get a chance to hit big opportunities, they don't miss them. Well, that's exactly what the Giants missed. The Giants executed better throughout the game than the Washington football team. The Giants looked better. Their offense looked better for most of the game. They had a chance to put it away. When the Patriots have those chances, for years and years, they've done it. They've executed. When they've had a shot on a deep post to put a team to sleep, they've done it. And so when I look at the difference, it's not necessarily Joe Judge. It's getting these players to execute at the most important times, the most critical times of the game. And if they do that, they probably win by at least 10.
All right, let's take it one step further. So Giants receiver Kenny Golladay was caught on the sideline yelling at Daniel Jones. You all saw that. Obviously got a big payday to come over, and frustration just boiled when they were trailing Washington late. Here's Jones on the incident.
We'll work through it. I think, a game, there's a lot of emotions to the game, and I certainly understand that. Me and Kenny have a great relationship, and I know we can communicate and do what we need to do there. So I appreciate his passion and emotion.
Tim, you've played quarterback. You've been in these type of situations. Is this a big deal?
I don't think it's a big deal yet. And I got to be honest, I think the way Daniel Jones just handled it and the way he answered it was perfect. I mean, trying to do his best to squash it, to kind of put it to sleep. There are emotions. He's right. A lot of players are very passionate and tempers fly. And so this is going to happen. And I think the way Daniel Jones is coping with it, I think is really good. But at the same time, you don't want this to be out in public because the rest of the team is watching, right? And if your best receiver and your starting quarterback are arguing, that's not going to give the rest of the team a lot of confidence. So if there is an argument, let's take it in the injury tent. Let's wait till after the game. Let's find a way to do it because the rest of the guys are watching. And if they're saying, hey, they're not on the same page, it's probably not going to give as much confidence to the rest of the team. So I get it. Arguments are going to happen. Tempers are going to flare. But as much as we can still show unity and confidence in one another and still get our point across, I would prefer to see that.
You could prefer to see that, and I don't disagree with that point that you're making. But in the same breath, Tim Tebow, I would tell you this. Sometimes tempers flare. You know this better than me. You played. I didn't. And the reality is that those things happen. I think that this is a serious matter in this respect, not in the fact that there's any vitriol or animosity between the two as human beings. But I do think that this points to the level of belief or lack thereof in Daniel Jones at this particular moment in time. Let's understand that Kenny Golladay is a #1 receiver in the National Football League. The New York Giants went and made a big deal of his signing in this offseason. Anybody that scours the NFL knows that brother can play. The question mark ain't about him. The question mark is about Daniel Jones. We knew that coming into the season. We still feel that way after the first 2 weeks. In the first 2 games, he's got 7 receptions for 102 yards. How many times has he been targeted? He's been targeted 14 times. Now, Sterling Shepard's been targeted 19 times. Sterling Shepard last night had 9 receptions. It could be something along the lines, Tim, of him feeling he needs to be targeted more, whatever, because we know that goes on with receivers from time to time. But I think ultimately it's about making the right decisions that you think will lend itself towards winning football games. And if you're looking at a guy like a Daniel Jones and you're questioning his decision making, and particularly as it pertains to you, and you don't think that's conducive to winning, you're right. It would be preferable that it's not seen in the public eye. But it's certainly understandable that you're on the sidelines in the heat of action with a game on the line that you're trying to win, how that would happen at that particular moment.
Stephen A., I totally get your point, and it's a really good point. But more important is why. Why is it happening? Why is Sterling getting more looks? Why is he getting more receptions? Why is Kenny Golladay? Is that just on Daniel Jones? Maybe he's going through his reads and his progression, but it's not leading there. So is that on Daniel Jones, or is it on your quarterback coach, on your OC, on putting the passing game together? That would be the bigger question to me, is if you're not getting the receptions, is it because of a certain coverage that they're taking Kenny away and they're not putting him in motion and putting him in slot and getting him in different positions? That could be another question. And then it's, all right, is Daniel Jones told to look in a different direction? If those are the cases, then guess what? Kenny needs to go talk to the QB coach or the offensive coordinator, and they need to have a conversation of saying, hey, I need to get involved in different ways.
Question. Let me ask you this question. You say that, and I definitely believe that's plausible, but my mentality is if I'm looking at Kenny Golladay, he's on a football team. He would know the answer to those questions that you asked. And so if he decides to go in the direction of Daniel Jones, maybe it's because he does know those things and Daniel Jones is doing something he ain't supposed to do. My question to you would be, how likely is it? I'm making an assumption that Kenny Golladay would know those things as a wide receiver on the field with Daniel Jones. How likely is it that he knows all of those things that you just pointed out?
Well, I think the best assumption is to assume that it's a lot of little things. That it's probably that Washington was doing something to take him away a little bit, putting someone underneath, being able to play a little too high to him, which they did play a lot throughout the night, and finding ways to take him away. I think that's part of it. I think part of it is that because of that too high, they were looking more for Sterling inside the middle, and he was having a good game. So I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. But also, you know, if I'm the Giants and I'm thinking, hey, we have a stud out here. We have to get him the ball. You know, at the best places I was at Florida, when we had Percy Harvin and we had some of the freaks, Aaron Hernandez and these guys, we would find a way to get them the ball. But that wasn't just on me. It was on, you know, Urban and Dan Mullen saying, hey, we got to design a play, put him in the slot, put him in motion, find a way to get him the ball because we need to get him going and we need for him to be a catalyst to propel us, not someone that is holding us back.
No, Tim,
and
that's
so
such
we
a
would
great
find
point.
ways to motion them to get them involved in the game. And if you feel like, you know, Kenny's not involved and we need to get him going, right? Yeah. Then I put that on the OC, design a play, move him around. Let's get him the ball so he is contributing.
We talked about that yesterday with Dan Orlovsky. He said it's the most elementary offense in the NFL. And that Jason Garrett needs to go.
Only thing I would say is this. That is what Dan Orlovsky pointed out. Here's the other thing. In terms of Golladay, where did he play the previous 4 years? It was Detroit. Yeah, they didn't win games. But Matthew Stafford was throwing him that football. Yeah. Matthew Stafford, Daniel Jones. It's worth pointing out.
Giants have 10 days to get it right. That's when Atlanta comes to town.
Oh, seems to be a really hot question lately. Can Tom Brady play till 50? Like 50 years old?
Yeah, 50.
50.
You're 44, that's 6 more years.
I don't find it so difficult. And plus, in the Florida, it's kind of a retiree state. So I feel like I can play and then just glide into retirement. I think I can. I think it's a yes.
You know, there's a little spin to that question. I think it's, will Giselle let Tom play till 50? That's the real question.
That is a way better question. And in fact, why would they not Google that? I think they should. That was, of course, no.
Maybe
that answer.
I'm so smart, I'm the Google master.
I'm just kidding.
Now.
I'm sorry, babe. I love you. You would let me. You'd let me do anything as long as I'm happy.
I'm kind of jealous. They are having so much fun out there in Florida. I love this new Tom. Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner had thoughts on this. Sorry, Tom Brady, I may have played to 50 with these rules to protect quarterbacks. Come on, Stripes, let them play ball. Stephen A.
Yeah.
Do you believe Tom Brady, he's 44 right now?
Yes.
Do you believe he could play until he's 50?
No, not at this level. I don't believe it for 1 second. And I think that, first of all, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. We all know this. Tom is special. We got all of that. Bow down to that man. Yep. You know, respect in that regard, football. But let me tell you this. It's disrespectful to all of those dudes playing football that a dude at age 50 could be on the phone, on the field, with those young cats hitting you. Now, I understand last year he was sacked, what was it, like 21 times? Year before that, 27. Year before that, 21. He ain't getting slaughtered, and I get that, and he's smart enough to get the ball out of his hands quick enough. But it's still football. You're going to get hit. And at some point in time, it's going to hurt significantly more than it used to.
I don't know.
I don't believe that for 1 second. And listen,
people are taking care of their bodies better.
It's not like he's built like Tim Tebow, okay? It's not like he's built like Tim Tebow, all right? Okay? I mean, it's not like that, okay? So we got to understand that, you know what? Listen, Father Time is undefeated. Now, Tom Brady might beat everybody else, but nobody's beating Father Time. Okay, and people might say he's beaten them so far. No, that don't get. At the end of the day, it ends. It ends.
Okay.
And it will end for him, and it will be before 50 without Giselle. Without Giselle, there's nothing to do with it. You ain't going to 50 because those young brothers in the league won't let that happen. They're gonna put a licking on you, and you ain't gonna keep on ticking. That's my belief.
Tim, I need to hear from you.
Steven, listen. Father Time might win the war, but TB12 and Tommy B has been winning a lot of battles, and I think he's got a lot more battles that he's going to be able to win. Listen, because of the rule changes and because of how good his offensive line and his receivers are around him and his therapy, that's a really big point that I think gets overlooked. Alex Guerrero, his trainer, and all of TB12 and all of the avocado ice cream and everything else, it is an incredible program that is keeping him healthy better than everybody else. And so I think that program is also having a lot to do with it, and you need to give him credit because he's the one that hired him away from everybody else and did all these programs to set his body up for success. So I think that's part of it. Is he going to play till 50? I don't know. But does he have, at this pace, with the way he's getting hit and the way he's playing, and his arm looks as strong as ever, and he's faster? I actually talked to Alex Guerrero's trainer. Tommy B is faster than he's ever been before. So at this pace, I think he could play another 3-4 years, especially with how good the Bucs are. But the question is, does he want to? If they win again, you know, in the next 3 years, if they win again, does he want to just hang it up and ride off into the sunset? He's actually already in a good sunset because he's in Florida. That would be the question. Right. But can he? Maybe.
Let's say Florida. No state income tax. That's the plus. The minus is those big bugs. Oh, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. You
are a beautiful mind.
There's big bugs in Florida. Big
too
bugs.
Humid for you.
Okay, I'm just saying. But Florida, but no state income taxes, and it is.
Hey, listen, Stephen A., we know you want to come here. If you want to come to Florida, feel free. We can set you up with a good place, all right? You'll be just fine.
I would come, but it wouldn't be Gainesville. I tell you that much. It wouldn't be Gainesville. You can scratch that. Not Gainesville.
Hey, listen, G Vegas is a beautiful place. There's going to be a lot of people when they show up this weekend. They're going to be like, dang, this place is crazy. Because it's going to be rocking.
A lot of good one-liners by Tim Tebow today, G Vegas.
Okay, all right, yes. Tim Tebow. I didn't know he had that in him, G Vegas. Okay, all right.
All right, guys. We all agree if anyone could do it, it would be.
I do think Florida has a chance in this game. They will compete in this game.
Alabama is taking these brothers to the woodshed.
You always believe in your squad, and I believe in my boys.
There's no Tim Tebow in that locker room talking about let's go, let's go.
Stephen A., we're always ready to go.
I don't want this for you. You don't deserve this, Tim Tebow.
They can give Alabama a threat.
Roll Tide, baby.
Number one, Alabama heading to the Swamp Saturday in a rematch of last season's SEC championship game, won 52-46 by the Crimson Tide. The Gators entered the game as a 15.5-point underdog, the largest home underdog Florida has been this century. Paul Feinbaum described the Swamp as one of the most difficult places to play. Why are you laughing, Stephen?
Because it won't be this weekend.
Does Paul Feinbaum know college football? Okay. Stephen A., honestly.
Stephen A., you just need to calm down about that, all right? I'm not sure if you've ever been to the Swamp, but we'll invite you just so you can see what it's like, all right? This is truly, I know Les Miles always said that Death Valley was a place that opposing dreams came to die. Yeah. That's what's happened a lot of times here in Gainesville. And listen, it's only, Friday morning, but I'm sweating. I got to literally take off my jacket right now because it is so humid right here.
The heartthrob.
In Gainesville. Let's just be honest about this. This is what opposing teams come in and face, all right? The humidity, it's going to be like over 100% humidity, all right? Let's just be honest. I mean, it will probably be 100%, but it's going to feel like more because that crowd's going to be going so crazy.
Sweating in the studio.
A lot of great teams have shown up here, and they have no idea how to answer that bell of 90-something thousand fans freaking out. Listen, Alabama is the better team. There is no doubt about it. But did you just see on that highlight reel when I said Florida is going to compete? And what did they do? They competed better than any other team in the country did against Alabama last year, and it was 52-46. So would you count that as competition or no?
No, I would count that as competition, and I'll give you your props because you told me it was going to be more competitive than I thought it would be, and I respect that, and I got that. But do you have any idea how laughable your position is right now? I mean, this is an all-timer. I want everybody to pause, and I want y'all to take a deep breath and think about what Tim Tebow just did. We got Florida, the Gators, Gator Nation, in Gainesville, hosting the reigning, defending national champions and the #1 team in the nation. And Tim Tebow brought up humidity.
You bring up weather all the time.
He brought up the humidity. He didn't say anything about the quarterback.
First of all, hey, calm down. We're just going
you look like the AD today.
didn't just bring up humidity. I brought up environment. Humidity is just a piece of it, right? And if you don't think this environment is a place where other people freeze, where opposing teams freeze, where they crumble, then you should just go look at the record books.
My bad. Let me get more specific, okay? Because I haven't seen Florida. Forgive me, I was busy. I didn't have it on my schedule.
Why would you watch film? I get it. Why would you watch the tape?
Let me express myself. I apologize. I didn't get a chance to watch Florida versus Florida Atlantic. I didn't get a chance to watch them against South Florida. My bad. But I did. I see Emory Jones here. That's one of your quarterbacks. Did he throw 4 interceptions already in the first 2 games against those dudes, okay? We got Anthony Richardson. He got 2 touchdowns. Now, he can run the football, 275 yards rushing in the first 2 games. I give him his props. And obviously, Emory Jones got 155 yards rushing. Jacob Copeland, he looks all right. But they going up against Alabama. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, I bet you, I bet my team, they're going to get mobbed. They're going to get destroyed. Let me be very, very clear about what I'm saying so we're not even confusing the issue. I don't care about humidity. I don't care about suffocation. I don't care about Gainesville and Gator Nation, G-Vegas. I don't care about none of that. And by the way, last time I checked, it gets pretty hot in Alabama. It ain't like it's the North Pole or Alaska or something. It gets pretty hot in Alabama. And they seem to be just fine. But at the end of the day, you got Bryce Young right here. I'm looking at Brian Robinson Jr. I'm looking at this cat right here, John Mechie. Oh, don't get me started with Jameson Williams. They gonna drop another 50. The difference is y'all will get nowhere near 46. Florida, I'm wishing you nothing but the best. I like your school. I love your history and get all of that. And guess what? You're going to win some few games after you lose tomorrow. You're going to win a few games. Kentucky, Tennessee, LSU, Vanderbilt, and all of that stuff. But come tomorrow in Gainesville, they going to mock y'all right out of the state. It ain't going to even be close. It will not be close. I got you losing by a minimum of 3 touchdowns. A minimum of 3 touchdowns. It's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a blowout, and I'm betting you right now it's going to be a blowout. You can bet the house on it, baby. It ain't going to even be close.
So if Florida is closer than that, how about next Friday you rock a Gator tie?
Rock a Gator tie? Done.
Yeah.
Done. It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
By the way, Stephen A., is Alabama a better football team right now? Yes, you can check that. Do they have more depth? Yes. Do they probably have more playmakers?
Yes. Yes.
But when you look at it, right, you look at the way Dan Mullen has coached against them, especially last year in the SEC Championship, an incredible game plan, had a chance to win. Alabama threw a pick, and Florida had it, and they fumbled. That would have changed the game. Also fumbled on the goal line. That would have changed the game. If there wasn't the miscues, Florida would have literally had a shot to win that game at the very end. So obviously, Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts is gone. But when you look at the skill and the playmakers now, it's different, but it is also very lethal. Emory Jones, you could say, yes, he's made some bad throws, but he is also super gifted. He's made some incredible throws. But then Anthony Richardson, right, the new 1-5 in Gainesville, this dude is an absolute freak. And if his hamstring is okay, you're going to see him do some special things, Stephen A. And I think you're going to see both of these guys play a lot. And I think you're even going to see both these guys at the same time. And if Alabama's not ready for it, it might be able to give them some fits. And you're talking about, who does Florida played? Well, by the way, let's be honest. Who is Miami and who is Mercer? So if we're going to trash one team for their opponents, let's be honest about both. Miami doesn't have Michael Irvin anymore.
Excuse me. Miami was a top 15 team in the nation. I understand
that. Yes, but that's the AP poll. Who cares? The AP has no idea what they're talking about.
I understand. That's fair. That's fair. Here's what I'm saying. I just want to make sure I got all your rationale in order. So Emory Johnson made some bad throws, but he's a damn good athlete. He's a freak of nature. He's going to do some things. Anthony Richardson, we can't ignore him. And, oh, by the way, Dan Mullen and his coaching. And, of course, let's not forget the humidity is very, very important. The humidity is going to play a factor in here. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be bad. I hope you're not staying for the game. It's going to be bad.
I have 2 questions.
I want Florida because I want Florida Nation to understand. I'm rooting for you in the future. I think that you got listen, I know the history of the program, mad respect, and I think that these guys, they got some potential, and I expect big things from them down the road. Tomorrow, they will get annihilated. It won't even be
Stephen
close.
A. Hey, Stephen A. Hey, Stephen A. Listen, I'm not a gambling man. I'm not a betting man. But since you brought it up, what about this? I want to up it from a Gator tie.
Okay.
One day. And when you get a free day, which I know Stephen A. is so famous and he has so many shows he can't even count, but one day on a Saturday, you got to come. If Florida keeps it close, within 3 touchdowns, you got to come and be Mr. Two Bits in the swamp and then see what it's about.
Who's Mr. Two Bits? I mean, who's Mr. Two Bits? I don't know. I follow Alabama. I ain't worried about no Florida. I got to look.
You don't follow Alabama. You follow bandwagons. It's cool. Keep riding it.
I've been bandwagon. I'm bandwagon. It's okay. Now,
listen, ever since they asked you to come speak, hey, listen, why don't you talk about Syracuse like you did a couple years ago? You spoke for Syracuse, and then they lose all their games, and you don't bring up Syracuse anymore.
Well, first of all, when I went to give them a speech, my former boss, who's a great man, John Wildhack, is the sports information. I mean, he's the athletic director at Syracuse University. Honored me to ask me to come and speak to him.
I love
What's that have to do with that?
He's a great man. He's a great man. He asked me to come and speak to the football team, and I would remind you that year they did win. They did win that year. They won their share games. So let's be very, very clear about that.
So the inspiration you give people only lasts for a little bit then, huh?
Well, I mean, you want to get technical. I spoke at Alabama, too. I spoke at Clemson, too. I don't see them falling off the wagon. At the end of the day, Tim Tebow,
we'll give you the credit for Alabama. Don't give it to Saban. We'll give it to you.
I will say this, though. I'm happy to come down to the swamp. I'm happy to come down to the swamp. All I'm telling you is this. They gonna get annihilated. The kids, my bad fellas. It's gonna be a bad Saturday for y'all. It's gonna be bad. Right. It's gonna be bad. It ain't gonna be close.
I did Google.
It ain't gonna be close.
I did Google some Gator ties while you guys were talking. We're not just gonna do the orange and blue stripes. We're gonna be actual Gators on the tie for Friday.
Hey, Stephen A. It goes 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1. All for the Gators. Stand up and holler. You need to memorize that when you show up, okay?
Okay. I will memorize it if necessary. Somehow, some way after tomorrow, I don't think it'll be necessary. It's a romp. It's a romp coming to the swamp. That's what you like that rhyme right there? A romp coming to the swamp. I mean, they gonna get beat down. It ain't gonna even be close. It's not gonna even be close. Tim, my bad. I don't even know why you there. Why would you do that to yourself? That's like Michael Irvin. I told him not to go to Miami. I told him not to go to Atlanta for that game against Miami. I warned him. He didn't listen. Look what happened. And I'm telling you the same thing. Y'all gonna listen to me. It's a romp coming to the swamp. You heard it.
Hey,
right
listen, enjoy your crimson tie for now. I'll look forward to seeing you in the orange and blue.
All right. No problem. Hold on.
Wait, I got one more thing for Tim.
Roll Tide.
Oh, my
Roll
God.
Tide.
Okay, can we
Roll
move
Tide.
on? Tim, who do you like in terms of some early Heisman frontrunners?
He know.
Listen, Bryce Young has to be up there, quarterback at Alabama. Spencer Rattler has to be up there. Also, because the offenses, the talent around them offensively, both of them are incredible. But I want to throw out a dark horse. Zach Charbonnet, the running back from UCLA, right? When's the last time we talked about a Heisman candidate from UCLA? Probably not in my lifetime, or at least since I was like 3. But this dude, 13.1 yards per carry. He is a grinder. This dude runs so hard. I love watching him play. I love the way he competes. Transferred from Michigan. This dude is going to be a stud the entire year. If he stays healthy and UCLA is able to knock a few of the big ones off, he's got a shot at the end of this year. And then another dude, Ole Miss. And I remember you were verbally slapping around Ole Miss last year, and I told you they were going to compete with Alabama too. I'm not sure if you remember that. But their quarterback, Matt Corral, already 13 20-plus yard passes. This dude's for real. I think he's probably playing the best of anyone in the country right now. If they're able to get some big upsets, some success, their defense is playing better, he could make a run at it as well.
Well, first of all, I can agree with your point about listen, of course it's Bryce Young. All right, Spencer Rattler, I got him at Oklahoma. I got that. I'm with you on the first two, but of course it's Bryce Young. Let's stop the nonsense, okay? And this running back from UCLA, no disrespect to him, Zach Charbonnet. I mean, I watched him against LSU. The brother can ball, but here's the reality. You're playing a suspect LSU squad. Notice how Ryan Clark and Marcus Spears, we can't find them. It's an APB out for both.
Ryan's joining us in the next segment.
Whenever the subject of LSU comes up, there's an APB out for them. We can't find them, okay? Because this is not 2 years ago, okay? So you got the LSU. You got UCLA playing Hawaii and LSU. Come on now. You going to give me Heisman consideration? Don't even start. It's Bryce Young. Okay, you got your quarterback from Oklahoma. It's a two-horse race between those two dudes. It's just that simple because neither of them might lose before the playoffs, and Alabama ain't losing at all. It's really that simple.
Let's be honest. Oklahoma and Spencer Rattler, they almost lost and probably should have lost to Tulane to open the season.
Hold on. Did you just bring up Oklahoma? You mean that team?
Oh,
that
wait. Someone wants to come and join this party.
You mean that team that beat? Hold on, Ryan. You mean the Oklahoma team that beat up Florida 55-20 in the Cotton Bowl?
Yes,
the
that team.
Cotton Bowl? Oh, Lord. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Stephen A. We are not worried about Oklahoma. Why are you talking? Why are you saying my name when I'm not on the show?
I'm saying LSU. You and Marcus Smith can't find y'all.
Listen, RC, he always uses my name when I'm on the show, so, it's cool.
Hey, first off, at least Tim and I can come on here and rep our own schools and our own team. At least Molly comes on and reps her own school and her own team. You got to come on and just be a front runner.
Why you hating on the HBCU?
You're just a front runner and jump on Alabama? At least pick a team that got to fight a little bit.
Hold on.
God,
listen, you didn't say that to me when y'all beat Alabama. I had to own it, did I not? So you had no problem with me saying Alabama when LSU smoked them, but then now that LSU's getting smoked, okay, and I bring up Alabama, suddenly I'm a front runner. Where were y'all then when I picked them and they lost a few years ago? Even though it was a while ago, I understand.
Man, I was just sitting here waiting for my opportunity to come on First Take and be a part of a great show, and you around here throwing shade when your boy not even on air. But it's all right, because now I hope that the Florida Gators and Anthony Richardson and Emory Jones come out and beat the Alabama Crimson Tide. So next week when Tim's on here, we can have you with the mush mouth not talking at all. And maybe you'll talk about your own school then.
All right.
Let's leave it there.
Go back until the hour number 2 of the show.
Tim is staying and Ryan's staying for this next segment, okay?
Lord,
and I'm calling Paul Feinbaum because you're like the new mouth of the South, and this is a problem.
Please.
He needs to get control here.
Say it with me, Molly. Alabama. Wrong.
Tyreek Hill burning the defender.
We had a battle to get a win.
It's going to give us a lot of confidence.
The sky's the limit for us.
There's nothing we can't do.
That's a pretty good start.
It's just one game.
Point blank period. We've got to be better.
I got to play better.
You have to execute critical moments.
This is hopefully an outlier. We'll find out next week.
Some notable AFC games. Let's go. The Dolphins are hoping to start the season 2-0 for the second time in the last 8 seasons when they host Josh Allen and the Bills. Buffalo has won 5 straight and 7 of their last 8 against Miami. On Sunday night, former MVPs Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes will meet for the 4th time in their careers. Mahomes and the Chiefs have won each of the first 3 meetings. The Raiders visit the Steelers, looking to start 2-0 for the 2nd straight season for the first time since the early 80s. Each of the last 4 meetings between these teams were decided by exactly 3 points. RC, Tim Tebow back here with us. Ryan, I'm going to start with you first. Tell me this. Do you trust Big Ben or Derek Carr more?
Derek Carr. And it doesn't take long to answer that question. And the question is not black and white, right? The life is shades of gray, and so is football. Sometimes we're not talking about prime Big Ben. We're not talking about Big Ben that played with the Killer Bees or this team that was predicated on being able to push the ball down the football field. That's not what they do. But go back to what you saw from Derek Carr on Monday night. He has a stretch in that game where there's 7 straight incompletions. And there's a stretch where he's getting pressured and he's not necessarily playing well. Darren Waller is dropping footballs, but you get late in that game, you get into the 4th quarter, you get into overtime. Derek Carr made every throw that you could possibly make. There was the fall away throw that actually got them the touchdown to Edwards, or the touchdown they thought won the game. And that was against cover 0. He comes back out. Zay Jones is cover 0 again. He floats it up, scores the touchdown. But to me, that's not even why I trust Derek Carr the most. That's not even why Derek Carr has moved up in my pantheon or my tier of quarterbacks. It was what he did post-game. It was in a situation where Derek Carr just threw for over 400 yards. He throws the game-winning touchdown that he took time to praise Zay Jones. He took time to talk about Zay Jones being the first one catching passes in the morning, the dude that's outworking everybody, being excited that his teammate finally got some love and got an opportunity to shine. See, that's what leadership is. And that leadership goes a long way. Now that you have a defensive line that can rush the quarterback with Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue and Carl Nassib, now that you have a running back who's getting healthier in Josh Jacobs, and I guess the best player that John Gruden's ever coached in Darren Waller, this is a dude who's going to have an opportunity to return to the MVP form we saw him pre-injury. So if you're asking me which individual player I trust more at his position, Derek Carr or Ben Roethlisberger, is Derek Carr, and it's pretty simple to give y'all that answer.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Hey, Stephen A., before you go, Stephen A., when I get off, can you just text me your address so I can overnight the tie? So it'll be there before Sunday, so it gets there Saturday. Just to make sure I get the address. All right.
You can have my address because you're my friend. You're my friend and brother, and my brothers and my friends, they have my address, okay?
It's really cool now. You can just have stuff overnighted there. So, like, it's Friday. It'll be there tomorrow. I think before noon. Maybe before the game even starts.
Let me ask you this, since you distracted me from my Steelers argument and that blasphemy that Ryan Clark was just uttering. And Ryan Clark, lift your head up, man. We don't need you seeing like you damn near got a bald spot like me. The point that I'm trying to make to you, Tim Tebow, is this. What are you going to do when Alabama romps Florida tomorrow? What are you going to do, Tim Tebow? Because it's going to be real interesting to see where you make sure your phone is on you and you receive my text.
I'm going
to be texting you during the game. After every touchdown, I'm going to be texting you. Okay? I'm just letting you know. Now, let me get back to you, Ryan. It's just a shame that this man won a Super Bowl with Ben Roethlisberger. He won a Super Bowl.
No doubt. And I'm so grateful.
Shameful. Shameful. First of all, what are we now, dear Abby? That's what we're doing now. Ron, did you see this man? Derek Carr, did you see him after the game giving his teammates credit and all that?
Did you not? Are you not paying attention?
Tell me. I did see it. What I'm saying is that's always been Derek Carr. Derek Carr has always been a nice guy. Derek Carr has always given his teammates credit. It didn't stop his record from being 48-63 as a starter. I mean, stop it, okay? And this is number two. Derek Carr is no scrub. He can play. But I thought I was talking to two of my brothers here that were about resumes. I mean, I'm looking at Big Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, 32 QBR, 56% completion in game one against Buffalo. Not very impressive. I understand that. But, excuse me, it's an aberration. Came off of elbow surgery last year. Everybody giving up on him. He still threw for 33 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Still completed about 65% of his passes. Let's see what happens this year. Hell no, I'm not going with Derek Carr over Ben Roethlisberger.
Stephen A., here's my question to you, though. Here's my question to you. Very often, right, we hear about, we see where you are in life and how big of a superstar you are. You basically carry the network through so many times doing 18 million different shows. You even spend some time shooting people on soap operas. But we know about your resume, the years writing, the
18 million was for the show. Wait, 18 million to do all those shows. Oh, okay.
I'll do those shows. So tell me this, though, Stephen A. With your resume being what it is, how do I come on this show all the time and kill you? Because it's not about your resume, Stephen A. It's about where you are in life right now as opposed to where the other person is and what you are asked to do. Because, see, we got topics on here that you can't fool with me with.
Wait a second.
You don't understand them like I understand them. You can't get them across like I get them across. I am more talented in those situations than you.
Let Tim speak.
Are you saying what Nick Saban is so afraid of, that it's creeping in with Stephen A. Smith, that the success is turning into a little bit of complacency? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe so. Whoa, sometimes you're the mountain, you become the mountain.
Success,
that's what Nick said.
The complacency. Y'all really want to get this started right here, right now. Y'all really want to. Y'all coming into the lines there right now. Let me get this out of the way, because I know Tim's got to give his take here. Ben Roethlisberger's resume matters. He made some big-time throws against Buffalo. Let's take that into consideration.
He did.
And Derek Carr is the one with something to prove, not Big Ben Roethlisberger is my point. I'm not saying Derek Carr can't do it. I'm saying he hasn't done it yet. Remember, they started off strong last year. They were 6-3, and then they lost 5 or 6, okay, and flopped out of the playoff picture. Let's remember that. Let's let Derek Carr give us a full season before we elevate him. That's number one.
Nosebleed.
Hold on, Ryan, we heard you, my brother. We coming back to you. You ain't going nowhere. Hold on. Number two, and more importantly, okay, I'm brilliant. Because I know I'm not. I listen to those who are, and I learn from them. So you are absolutely right, because what we talk about on here is football. So I'm not going to lie and sit up there and act like I know football the way Tim Tebow and Ryan Clark does, but I do know this. I know enough to listen, learn, and point out inconsistencies and when y'all lose. And I don't recall Ryan Clark getting the better of me in most debates. The floor is yours, Tim Tebow.
Hey, Stephen A., I think this is an important point we have to add in this debate is the surrounding cast. Right now, the surrounding cast is going to make you trust someone even more. And the surrounding cast around Oakland, around the Vegas Raiders, right?
Las Vegas. G Vegas should know about Las Vegas. Go ahead.
It's another, G Vegas is here. It's cool, though. But when you talk about Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, when you talk about Zay Jones stepping up now, I mean,
Edwards.
Hunter Renfrow is a nightmare on 3rd and 6 or less, right? And he doesn't get the respect he has. And so because of that, I think right now, when they play next week, I think you have to look and say, I'm going to trust Derek Carr more. Not that it's anything taken away from Big Ben. I think Big Ben is a Hall of Famer. He's unbelievable playing against him. I would look and I would be, you would be like, dang, this dude is incredible the way he's able to play. I still think he's got a lot left in his game. And if this is the playoffs, I'd probably go with Big Ben. But this week, I'm going to go with Derek Carr because of the surrounding cast and because of also the momentum they're coming off of playing together in an incredible win.
The surrounding cast. I'm sorry. We got Chase Claypool. We got Juju Smith-Schuster. We got Deontay Johnson. We got James Washington. We got Eric Ebron.
Okay.
You should know about this, Tim Tebow. Najee Harris out of where? Alabama. And on top of it all,
a top 3 defense. Statute of limitations for how many times we say that on the show.
A top 3 defense in the National Football League, and y'all going to talk to me about surroundings? I'm sorry. I think the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger has better surroundings than Derek Carr.
That's not the
Stephen
question.
A., we're not picking the game. We're talking about what quarterback.
Yeah, I know. I said that he just brought up surroundings, Ryan. That's why I brought up surroundings.
Okay. Let's just leave it. Let's leave it. Let's
I'm making it up.
Listen,
Did he bring up surroundings?
Tim, you really brought the
surroundings when
today.
you're talking about the swamp, Stephen A.
Okay.
When you come here, the surroundings are going to be pretty incredible. Let's just be honest about that.
Whatever. The swamp is coming to the swamp. Forget it, all of y'all. How y'all doing? I feel bad for all of y'all. Yeah. You going down. You going down.
I can't even hear you. It's too loud, and it's only Friday morning.
They singing. They
Bye,
see me.
Tim. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Ravens wide receiver Sammy Watkins with some bold words about his current and former quarterbacks in Lamar and Mahomes. Does he think?
Right here on First Take, myself and Molly are in here. Obviously, every weekday, my man Max is over with Keyshawn and Jay Williams doing their morning radio show, along with an hour-long television show, This Just In, that airs every weekday on ESPN from 2 to 3 p.m. As far as we're concerned, right here on First Take, it'll be me, it'll be Molly. On Mondays, it'll be Michael Irvin. Tuesdays, Keyshawn Johnson. Wednesdays, Marcus Spears. Thursdays, Dan Orlovsky's. Friday, Tim Tebow, of course, along with a potpourri of contributors, including Bart Scott, Dominique Foxworth, Ryan Clark, who's about to come on the show, Damian Woody, Mina Kimes, Kimberly Martin. The list goes on and on. Let me not forget my man Jeff Saturday as well, along with Paul Feinbaum and a host of others. And, of course, folks within this world of sports and entertainment are more than welcome to come on the debate show, whether in person or virtually, as we'll see today when Common comes on the show to bless us with his presence for the last half hour of the show. That's the future of First Take moving forward. I just wanted to let everybody know that. Yep. Let's get it on.
All right, let's do it. And yeah, we're really excited to have Common in just a bit. You'll be debating him on some things. We'll talk to him about his Chicago Bulls. But let's get into this weekend's action, shall we? Lamar Jackson is 0-3 in his career versus the Chiefs. And it's not just because of Patrick Mahomes. Jackson has struggled with his accuracy, failing to complete 55% of his passes in any of those 3 matchups. Here's Sammy Watkins, who had 4 catches for 96 yards against the Raiders in Week 1.
I think those guys definitely view it that way. You can say you're not, but the world is watching 2 of the best, youngest MVPs in the league, and very talented guys. So I'm definitely looking at it that way. Like, man, Lamar need to win. He's been doing a great job in this league with just how he's been carrying himself as a teammate and as a guy that just do the right things off the field. So I just think, it's time for him to take that next hump and try to get a win. I hope this team and we prepare and the coach prepare to do our best to try to, will a win for the
beat him in the Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes had me, Molly, and Stephen A. blocking for him. The only guy that we ever talk about in this way is Lamar Jackson. The only dude his age from his draft class that we talk about in the playoffs is Lamar Jackson. Why? Because of success. Because he was the youngest MVP. Because he is a dude with an incredible regular season record. And it just seems that he can't seem to beat Patrick Mahomes, who, if I'm not mistaken, has been like 12-4, 12-4, and 15-1. That's who Patrick Mahomes is. Patrick Mahomes beats everybody. The Kansas City Chiefs beat everybody. In 2 years of being a starter, or in 3 years of being a starter, it's been AFC Championship, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. So why is Lamar Jackson the one dude that we say need a statement win against the Kansas City Chiefs? The Baltimore Ravens just need a win, period. They're a team right now that's 0-1 that lose a game to the Raiders that they shouldn't have lost. They're playing against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're losing players every single week. Every week on the injury report, a vital part of the Baltimore Ravens football team is lost. But here's the issue for Lamar Jackson. You don't have your number 1 overall draft pick at wide receiver. You're weak at tackle. You've lost every running back that you've basically started the season depending on is now on IR. And defensively, you lose your starting corner, and you have pieces there that are missing. So in truth, this is the one time that Lamar Jackson shouldn't beat Patrick Mahomes. Now, I'll say this. He has had better rosters than Pat before. They've been better teams in Baltimore than in Kansas City, and Patrick Mahomes has been the great equalizer, and Lamar Jackson hasn't played well. That is a fair assessment. But to say that Lamar Jackson needs this win, or this is a statement win for Lamar Jackson, is just wrong. And from our standpoint, and from being a part of the media, we can't put that pressure on this young man because he's been that successful that we got to hold him to a different standard than we hold every other quarterback in the NFL to other than Tom Brady.
Well, let me say this to you, my brother. First of all, that was a long-ass take. And I see your strategy. You're going to talk up the whole segment so you don't get I don't have an opportunity to come back at you. But it ain't going to work, okay?
I'm trying to give you a break because you work so hard.
Let's get that out the way first. That's number one. Number two, you know good and damn well that ain't the truth, what you just said. And I'm going to tell you why it's not the truth. You understand the last time Lamar Jackson went up against Kansas City, the brother threw for 97 yards. Come on, Ryan. You can't play like that. Now, technically, you're absolutely correct in terms of actually winning the game against Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes doesn't play defense for the Kansas City Chiefs, so Lamar Jackson is going up against that defense, and we understand that. What we're really saying, in order to be specific in a micromanage the situation, you can't play the way that you've been playing against this brother. And why are we saying that? Because Lamar Jackson is so electrifying, he's so special, that we look at him and we ask ourselves, what's standing in his way? That's what this is. You got Hollywood Brown as one of your receivers. You got Sammy Watkins that you just acquired. You got Mark Andrews, one of the better tight ends in the National Football League. And you're looking at this squad, and even though your running attack is important, the bottom line is they've been one of the top 2 running attacks in the National Football League over the last 3 years because Lamar Jackson has run for back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons out of the quarterback spot, which has never happened in NFL history from a quarterback. We understand that this brother is like Michael Vick 2.0. It's just another level to this. This way, we ain't even seen this from Michael Vick. So because of his greatness, now we're saying, well, what's in your way? That's what this is about. It's about what's in his way. And when Patrick Mahomes is throwing for 385 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns, and flinging the football all over the field, winning MVPs just like Lamar Jackson did, but getting to a Super Bowl, of course, winning playoff games to get to Super Bowls, which Lamar Jackson never did until he beat Tennessee last year in the postseason. We're going to look at Lamar Jackson and say, we know what you bring, and we know it's special and unique, and we know how great you are, and Josh Allen just got 6 years, $258 million, so we damn sure know that Lamar Jackson better at least get that money. But in the end, we're still going to ask ourselves, what's missing? And that's what that is.
Stephen A., so back in the day, the New York Knicks of the 90s that had great teams, the Indiana Pacers of the 90s that had great teams. Were we looking at those two teams? Were you looking at those two teams any differently? Because the reason those two teams didn't get to NBA championships, the reason that those two teams don't have rings is because of Michael Jordan. But we weren't looking at Patrick Ewing and say, you know what, you got to win, and then looking at Reggie Miller and saying the same thing.
Hold on. Once again, you see, you done caught yourself. Because, see, for America that doesn't know, Ryan Clark is an exceptional football mind and a champion. And I'm proud to call him my brother and the great job that he does covering the NFL for us.
I know it's
but
coming.
he also knows basketball, so you know better. The fact is, it's two different sports, and you can't compare the two. When we look at Lamar Jackson and we look at the team that is football, offense, defense, special teams, unlike, basketball, one dude can take over. That's number one. So, again, but remember, the New York Knicks really went about the business of lying to the point. Yeah, we knew Patrick Ewing could have messed with him. We knew that John Starks and those boys could have messed with him. Yeah, Charles Smith, Charles Oakley and the boys. That wasn't enough. So what do? You go out, you get Rolando Blackman, you get a Derek Harper and those guys, and you play stout defense, get physical, all right, and you thought they had a chance. And one time, they were up 2-0 on the Bulls, and we thought they had Jordan, okay? And then Jordan just amped it up to another level. We understand that. Football's different.
Yes, football is different, but the thing that you need to ask Lamar is to go out and play well, right? But to put the pressure on Lamar in football, my point is this: in football, it's more of a team sport. The Baltimore Ravens have to play defense. The Baltimore Ravens has to play special teams. So to keep putting the pressure on Lamar Jackson alone to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, that's
not
unfair.
fair. He's already
and
asked
he's
to
the
do too
only
much.
quarterback we do that for.
Okay, but question before we go. Question. Fine, and I acknowledge that at the very beginning of my soliloquy, but my point is you can't throw for 97 yards. So, to me, the argument goes out the window if Lamar Jackson goes out there, throws for 300 yards, similar to what Patrick Mahomes does, but the team finds a way to lose in another way, as opposed to you throwing for 97 yards and not being in any threat.
But that's
from the
not what they
passing attack
do. You know, that's not how they win. They run the ball, et cetera.
He has one 300-yard passing game, period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just not what they do.
But
Ryan, when he starts complimenting you, that's when you should get nervous. Stephen A., did you mention the Chicago Bulls? Because they once shared a court together at the All-Star Celebrity Game. Is there actually bad blood between Stephen A. and Common? You know he's a Bulls fan. You know he's from Chicago. You know I'm going to be asking him about that, and we're going to ask him about the Bears as well. Plus, one of the best matchups this weekend, Chargers versus Cowboys. Will you be in L.A. for that, Stephen A.? Dak versus Justin Herbert.
I'm thinking about it.
Stephen A.'s thoughts on who wins that game. Does he have the Cowboys starting 0-2? Ouch. Daily fantasy players, listen up. We are about to load up your wallet. Your girl here to get you wins and get you paid, Stephen A. It is time for Molly's deal, and it's a good deal, and you are up first. So let's start with your boy, that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. Will he throw for 300 or more passing yards?
Of course. Absolutely. Okay? Me sounding like Michael Jackson, God rest his soul. Bottom line is this. Aaron Rodgers is going up against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And he's coming off the worst week of his career. Yeah. That pride, that intestinal fortitude is going to allow him to wreck shop and wreak havoc Monday night, or wherever it is, against Detroit.
Monday night, 300-yard passing games against them with you. RC, we move on to you, sir. Who will have more passing yards between the rookies, Mac and Zach, in the Jets pass game?
I think it's going to be Zach Wilson, just because Zach's going to have to. When you look at his team, it's not as good as the New England Patriots. He's not surrounded with the same type of defense, the same type of people. He got beat up in that first half against the Carolina Panthers, but dude came back out in the second half fighting, making plays, moving around in the pocket, great throws down the field. So I expect Zach Wilson to have more yards. They still ain't going to win this game.
Yeah, especially if they get behind, he's going to be forced to throw. All right, Stephen A., back to you. Eagles-Niners. I think this one's tough. Tell fans who's going to have more passing yards between Jimmy G and Jalen Hurts.
I think it's going to be Jimmy G for some reason. I think a lot of noise has been made about Jalen Hurts. I think they're going to throw a wrinkle into their offense. They're going to run the football a little bit more than we expect them to. He's not going to look to throw as much. I think Jimmy G, on the other hand, is going to have to throw. I know what life is like playing at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. You ain't running the ball in that stadium. I think San Francisco's going to have to throw the ball more, and that's why I think Jimmy G is going to have more yardage passing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Niners don't allow a lot of pass yards, even though Jalen Hurts had a breakout game. RC, this one, a tough one. More receiving yards on Sunday for the Ravens. Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce?
I'm going Travis Kelce. I know Tyreek Hill leads the league right now. He had the big 75-yard play against the Cleveland Browns, but I feel like he's going to be shadowed by Marlon Humphrey. And also, if I'm the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, I'm playing someone over the top. Tyreek Hill can't get the deep ball. That means that Travis Kelce will get opportunities to work on safeties and linebackers, and we know what he's like in those second play opportunities. He's going to have a huge day.
Okay, and Stephen A., we'll end this one with you. Who's going to have more pass yards on Sunday? Your guy, Big Ben, or Mr. Elite, Derek Carr?
It's going to be Big Ben.
Stephen
It's going to be Big Ben.
Did you see him against the Bills?
I don't
they
care.
Didn't do very
It's all
much
right.
on offense.
Man.
It was called the special teams and defense
Mere
win.
bag of
Are you
shells.
sure?
Mere bag
We
of
need
shells.
people to win money.
Ralph Cramden said it best on the
Oh,
honeymoon.
my
It's mere bag of
goodness.
shells. It's no
Oh,
big
my
deal.
God.
It's just an aberration. It's 1 week. Ben Roethlisberger is not going to look that bad again. I mean, he made some key throws in the second half. I think that will continue
make
at
key
home.
throws.
Yeah,
At
a
home.
couple.
At home at Heinz Field. Definitely. Derek Carr on the road? No, it ain't happening.
Okay.
Steelers ahead of their business. Ben will look better.
My 2 cents, the best bet, agreeing with him from everything I heard, Aaron Rodgers' redemption game at Lambeau, national spotlight against the Lions, second worst defense in the NFL, according to FPI. It's a good deal. It's Molly's deal. We'll play it back next week. Coming up here on... We had a fun week for sure. Let's bring it home. Jalen Hurts showed out for the Eagles in their Week 1 victory over the Falcons, throwing for 264 yards, 3 TDs. Meanwhile, the Niners also picked up a victory against the Lions. Jimmy G threw for 314 yards and 1 TD, and rookie Trey Lance came in to throw another. Ryan Clark back here with us. Ryan, who's going to win this one? Are you going Niners or Eagles?
You know, I'm going Philadelphia Eagles. The Niners, you lose Mostert, who has been a good back for this team, but we know they can generate run game. Obviously, I think Jason Verrett, the starting corner on the other side, tears his ACL. That's a huge deal for me. But also, I look at this Jalen Hurts-led team and think about this offensive line. Offensive line protected him amazingly last week. He was able to get outside the pocket and make huge plays, use his legs to pick up first downs. And Miles Sanders, I'm starting to believe that Miles Sanders is actually going to be a better NFL back than Saquon Barkley is. And those two dudes was in the same backfield at Penn State. And defensively, adding Steven Nelson was huge. We obviously know what Darius Slay is on the other side. They rushed the passer well against Matt Ryan. And early on in that game, they gave up some plays to the run. That's the only thing that makes me a little nervous about the Philadelphia Eagles. But I am becoming a believer in Jalen Hurts. And here is something that I think went underrated in Week 1, Stephen A., was Nick Sirianni. For all the jokes I made and other people made about his press conferences or about his unwillingness to say that Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback, went for it on 2 fourth downs. He showed so much confidence in his offense. He was able to dial up plays that got open wide receivers to give Jalen Hurts easy passes. I think that this dude, from an X's and O's standpoint, is elite, and he showed that in Week 1.
I think you're going a little bit too far with that last comment. We don't know that yet. The first game was against the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, can we pump the brakes just a touch?
They all get paid, Stephen A.
It's one game. It's one game. Listen, I believe in Jalen. Listen, I believe in Jalen Hurts, the athlete. I believe in Jalen Hurts, the winner. I don't have them winning this game. I think it's going to be a nail-biter, but I can see them losing this game. I didn't like how San Francisco looked in the last minutes against Detroit. Let them come back after blowing them out. They took the foot off the gas, and Detroit obviously came back, but they lost the game anyway. In the end, I think San Francisco is going to make amends for that. I'm still looking. Look, Nick Bosa's back. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about the fact that D Ford is still there. This cat, Gentavious Street. I mean, he's there. What have you? Everybody got a sack last week. I'm looking at it from that standpoint. I don't expect their defense to tail off the way that they did last week against Detroit. And then when I think about them offensively, I'm a Debo Samuel fan. I'm certainly a George Kittle fan.
He's a monster.
Jimmy Garoppolo did throw for over 300 yards. We got to sit up there and pay attention to that as well. Now, I could say the same thing about Detroit that I said about Atlanta. I mean, who the hell are they?
Exactly.
I understand all of that. And I'm not losing sight of that. But there is experience that we're talking about here with a Kyle Shanahan called offense. And this ain't the Super Bowl, it's the regular season. I believe more in him than the regular season, even the postseason than the actual Super Bowl.
Stephen A., can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? You always get on me about not supporting Pittsburgh or about not being true to the Steeler Nation. Why is it that you worked in Philadelphia for like 2 decades, but you never picked those guys? You always going against the Philadelphia Eagles?
Correction.
Like,
correction.
Is there no
Number
brotherly
one,
love in you?
Time out. Correction. I did pick them to win the Super Bowl over New England, and they did it. Number one. Number two, I picked them on a few occasions to win the division over the Cowboys. Number three, I'm consistent. I call it like I see it. No one can testify to that more than the city of Philadelphia. They know me. I sat up there years ago. Reflection, 2001. They in the NBA Finals. My boy AI is leading the crew. I spoke to AI last night, by the way. They going up against the Lakers. And everybody in the country is talking. And Steve, they're so excited. And they got press clippings all over the place. And they came to me to interview me right before tip-off of game one. And I went like this. It ends in 5. You got no shot. Well, Stephen, why? Why,
At least they
Stephen,
got
why?
one.
I said Shaq, and more Shaq. And I didn't even bring up Kobe yet. I said, it's not. I said, then they said, well, Stephen A., you saying they're going to get swept? I said, oh, no. AI will get you one. He'll get you one, but you're going down.
So the one time you picked him.
I said, you go. So what I'm trying to say to you is there have been times that I have picked teams for Philadelphia. This is just one game in the regular season. They ain't going 16-0. I just got a funny feeling that they're going to lose this game.
So what you're saying, Stephen A., so what you're saying is if you are truly being an unbiased analyst, sometimes you're not going to pick the place that you got love for. Like when I say Derek Carr is a quarterback I'd take before Ben Roethlisberger in the game. Right. But what I'm going to tell you on this,
but I didn't play for them.
The Philadelphia
You did. I didn't play. I didn't play for them. You did. You did. These were your things.
That's why, Stephen A., and that's why I can say what I want to say, because I did play for them, because I did give a spleen and a gallbladder and a piece of my liver. I did all of those things. So I can call it how I see it.
When's the last time you've been to Pittsburgh?
I ain't got to owe them people nothing.
When's the last time you've been to Pittsburgh, man? I mean, because you spent a lot of time in Louisiana. You ain't
Last
been
year.
That's what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
No, 2 years ago, I'm sorry. 2 years ago.
See what I'm saying? Well, you know what? I was in Philadelphia last week. You see what I'm saying? See the difference?
Well, hold up. We were in a pandemic. It's not fair to this man. No one could even leave their house.
Oh, please.
Am I right or am I right?
Thank you, Molly.
Yeah, we didn't travel.
Wasn't you at the game with UConn the other day?
Yeah, that was
All
Saturday.
right then. Excuse me, you were hanging. I mean, how come he couldn't hang? He couldn't hang in Pittsburgh? I mean, what's the problem?
I tell you what I was at, though. I was at the Hall of Fame when all them Steelers winning a month ago. Okay. I was there. I was wearing them terrible towels.
Okay.
Right,
What's up,
let me
Molly?
ask you this. All right, obviously we know NFC West, best division in football, but 4 teams can't go to the playoffs. So who's the odd man out?
I think it's the San Francisco 49ers. Watching the Seattle Seahawks now with a new offensive scheme and the way they look much like the Rams with a quarterback like Russell Wilson, I think that team is really good. The Los Angeles Rams might be the best team in football now that they have Sean McVay, and Kyler Murray was absolutely sensational against the Tennessee Titans, and also defensively they played better. They were able to rush the passer. J.J. Watt looks rejuvenated in that secondary with Byron Murphy at the slot, Marco Wilson outside, Robert Alford outside, and those 2 fast, quick, versatile safeties. I think the Arizona Cardinals can be extremely good, especially if Cliff Kingsbury learns how to adjust throughout the season. And so the San Francisco 49ers, even though I think they are a good team, I think they're a notch below the other teams. And 2, they have I don't want to say the worst quarterback in the division. This is not a real saying. The least best quarterback in the division, or the least good quarterback in the division. And so I believe that team finishes last.
No, it makes sense. It's like Ben Roethlisberger in the AFC North.
best.
I get what you're saying, Ryan. Carry on.
Please. I get what he's saying, too. It still don't make it any less weak. Let me tell you something right now, okay? I'm
trying to be nice.
Listen, I'm going to go with Arizona being the odd team out.
No.
All right? Let me explain. Let me explain. I could be wrong. But I'm going to tell you why I'm going with them. They got to show me to believe it. Because Kingsbury's their coach.
I get that.
Because he's their coach. I'm not pointing at Kyler Murray. I'm certainly not pointing at Chandler Jones. I'm not pointing at J.J. Watt. I'm not pointing at my man DeAndre Hopkins, who's a stud. I'm not pointing towards any of that. Your coach has to show me he ready for the big time. He didn't do it in college. He hasn't done it yet on the coach. The only thing we know about their coach definitively on an elite level is the brother's pad is off the chain. We saw that during the NFL
That is
draft.
true. His house fire.
The house is tight.
Can I tell
the
you?
house is tight.
Can I tell
That's
you?
all we know
Can I
about
tell you
him.
a little secret?
What?
If you lived in Arizona, you could have a pad like that as well.
Fine. I believe you. I know this.
It's a little
I know this.
Stephen A. probably got a pad like that on the East Coast. He probably got 17 TVs in his basement.
Yeah, and actually it's 9, but that's a different story for another day.
Oh, I gotta go.
The point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is Kingsbury, his pad is fly. His pad is fly.
Ryan,
okay?
I'm done.
Okay,
I'm
just
done.
say
I'm
it.
out.
I'm just saying. He brought it up. He brought it up.
You know what I
He
do?
brought it up.
I go into Bristol and I watch in the War Room because they've got a nice setup for
Well, I have a war room. I have a war room. What's wrong with that? I have a war room. It's rented. It's rented. It's rented.
Songwriter and actor hailing from the Chi. He's a 3-time Grammy Award winner, an Emmy winner, and an Oscar winner. Now, can we just marinate on that for a second, Common? Because that's some serious accolades. Friend of the show, Common, with us. So good to see you. And he has a new album titled A Beautiful Revolution Part 2 in stores now. Good day, sir.
What's up,
good to have you with us.
Peace. Peace. What's going on, Molly? Peace. What's up, Stephen A? Molly, you forgot to mention one thing.
What?
I got the MVP. I got an MVP trophy against this cat right here. He was coaching the other team. I got the MVP in the celebrity game. You forgot to mention that.
I'm sorry, my bad.
That's the last time I seen you. I heard you talking crazy, Steve.
Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something right now, man. First of all, can we admit that it was fixed? The fix was in,
come
okay?
on, man.
Y'all had a bunch of ringers, okay, and didn't give me much to work with. Can you at least admit that?
Look, can you admit that your coaching skills, you saw what I was doing in the game. You should have took the ball out of my hands, but you didn't have the coaching abilities. And you were talking crazy early before that. Me and Mike Wilbon, we broke your team down, bro. You tried to do everything. You tried to get Nate Robertson. You tried to get other pros, and we did y'all in. Just take that. Just take that one, all right, Steve?
I'm not trying to take that. Could y'all get that off the screen, please? I want to see that footage right now.
Yeah, bro.
I want to look at Common. I want to look at Common. I want to look at Common right now, please.
Show that trophy. Show that trophy. Show that trophy
one more time.
Show that trophy.
You know what? You done started something. That's all right, because I didn't have a squad. You know you might force me to play next time. You might force me to play because you were talking a lot of smack. You understand? I got my knee surgery and everything. You're in trouble.
Steven, you don't want that, bro. You do not want that on the court. If you want to get on the court, it's gonna be Chicago against New York, baby. I'm coming for you, bro.
Hold on. Are you trying to tell me that you gonna take me out in basketball? Is that what you trying to say?
I will take you in whatever. Look, anytime you want to play ball, hoop, I will take you out for sure. 1-on-1, horse, whatever you want to play. Please, bro. Cause I saw your basketball abilities. Your shot is not that fire. It's not fire. And I know you can't drive now. So I know you had the surgery. I'm glad you well. That's all love on the other side.
It's all love. It's all love. It's all love.
You know, lots of courts out here. He wants to come out.
Listen.
I got the iPhone. I'll record it.
He done started something right now. You know what? I'm going to check. Listen, I'm over 50. I'm going to check with my doctors and all that stuff. I'm going to get on the basketball court. I'm coming for I want the whole Chicago crew. I mean, the fix was in. I want all of y'all. You done started something right now. They're going to get me back on the court. They're going to get me back on the court.
Okay. Let's do it.
Because I got news for you.
We just said Tom Brady can play till 50. You can get out there for a little pickup game.
You can do it, man. Come on.
Listen. You are sensational. You're a sensational artist in every sense of the word, and you're one of the best brothers I know. I love you to death. But when it comes to your basketball skills, there's levels to this. You're not there. You're not there. I'm just telling you. You're not there.
It's levels.
Hold up. Speaking of levels.
Why do I get the MVP?
Okay. By default. That's why the NBA collaborated with ESPN and they gave Wilbon the bomb squad.
I thought you were about results and producing.
See,
you
that's
stopped
betrayal.
it right
That was
there.
betrayal.
You stopped
Molly
it.
is betraying me.
I can't have this. Okay, Common, I need to transition here because you brought something up. You said Chicago versus New York, right? And that got me thinking about the NBA because Shaq was on the other day talking to Stephen A. and he was saying that your Bulls are going to be the real deal. This new look Bulls squad, you think they're going to be better than the New York Knicks?
For sure. The Bulls are definitely going to be contenders in the playoffs. They're going to make some noise in the playoffs. They're going to be contenders in the playoffs, meaning they could get to the second, and maybe a little further. For sure.
Please.
I'm putting that on. Lonzo Ball is obviously a great all-around player. We got DeMar DeRozan. Zach LaVine you seen what he do, Olympic gold medalist, but he just got game. And we got a bench that's decent. We there. Yeah, exactly. We there.
I will say this. I'm jealous of the Chicago Bulls because I love me some Zach LaVine. That brother's a Skywalker. He can ball, averaged 27 a game last year. He's legit. I don't know, in all seriousness, if the combination, of him and DeMar DeRozan would work. They both can play. I'm not throwing shade on either of their games. Just sometimes it's about the match. You understand? Whether they work together, I don't know. Lonzo Ball is just starting to get assertive a little bit. My problem with him was more so his lack of aggression than anything else. Because now I think we're talking about his brother a little bit too much, and that's elevated his level of aggression. So we shall see. But let's pump the brakes a little bit. Chicago got a chance to go to the playoffs. I expect them to probably make the first round, but then they going home. We need to understand that they going home.
What do your Knicks do
They going home
after the first round?
Well, Knicks gonna get past the first round. Knicks gonna get past the first round.
No, hey, look. Hey, yo, Stephen A., you was geeked up about the Knicks. And even I was a little happy that the Knicks was doing something.
Yeah.
But, man, they broke your heart, brother. They broke your heart. And they probably – same thing may happen. Only thing the Knicks – I love the Knicks because they got D. Rose on the Knicks, here in Chicago.
That's right.
And I like seeing New York do their thing. I got love for New York. But Chicago, actually, when it comes down to it, I know what you're saying about Zach LaVine. But when you think about it, good coaching can put together a team and make players work. And I think DeMar DeRozan, he's looking to get to that level. Of course, Zach LaVine know how to play with great players. And when you got a good point guard, great point guards make things work for everybody.
He's not.
But he's
not great.
He's headed there.
He's headed there.
He's headed there, man. You've seen his abilities. We all knew this dude had abilities. He had to work through the things that his father, and also get adjusted to the league. The man is growing. Lonzo Ball can play ball. He got a knack for the game. He got that intangible. And having a good point guard will make a team be a winner. You know that. We know that. Point guards are like quarterbacks, and they make teams go.
All right.
Common, let me ask you this about the Chicago Bears. So here's been Stephen A's argument. We've been talking about it all week. The whole media is, should it be Dalton? Should it be Fields? Should we throw him into the fire? And Stephen A's take is obviously he thinks Fields is great, but he wants to protect him. We even heard Bill Parcells say that. We know the O-line. It's kind of suspect to throw him into the fire. But do you think it's time, because that's what we're hearing from people in Chicago, that they want him out there?
Chicago, we want Justin Fields on the field. The dude, why would you wait? To me, it's like you got a professional ball player that can play, that's hungry, that got heart, and already showed that he can play in the pros and actually be a star. Man, this is not only the game is his game is there, and I heard Dan talk about it yesterday. Why doesn't Nagy just create plays that will work for Justin Fields? That's what good coaching is. But along with that, man, he's a star. I'm so happy we got a black quarterback in Chicago. Y'all don't know. I watched you, Stephen. They talk about how the Bears passed up on Deshaun Watson, how they passed up on Patrick Mahomes. We got a star now. Put him in the game, man. These dudes, he been playing football his whole life. What are we protecting? I mean, the coach can set up plays. Just do a couple of, options. Keep the options rolling so he don't get subjected to being hurt. Set up plays where he doesn't get hurt. But, man, the man is ready to play. We want to win. I don't believe in that sitting around waiting. We got to take the present moment and do it. By the way, the Bears could be playoff in the playoffs too, doing all right.
Well, let me say this
to you.
Let me say this to you. I think Chicago's defense is elite. I think any issues that you've had with them, anybody's had with them in the last year and a half, is because they lost faith in their offense and the defense knew they had to carry a load they shouldn't have to carry, and sometimes that can wear on you. Attrition can kick in, and I think that's what the issue is. But I believe in the Chicago Bears defense offensively. I see some of the pieces they had, the Robinsons, the Montgomerys of the world, Allen Robinson, David Montgomery, and others. But here's my deal. You know this offensive line is suspect. So why throw Justin Fields to the Wolves now? I'm not talking about waiting a year, Common. I'm talking about you got Cincinnati this week, but you got Cleveland next week. Because once you put him in, you can't take him out. Once you put him in as a starter, that's it. There's no looking back. So since you're not going to look back, you're going to play him in these games that you start Andy Dalton. You're still going to insert him from time to time. Utilize that dual option for the next couple of games. Use these next weeks to get your offensive line even more together. Week 4, after you get past Cleveland, then you put him in. What's wrong with that?
Nah, man, I'm a warrior, man. We go for us, man. You don't sit around and wait when you know you got it, man. You got to go get it. That's what we do. That's what Chicago do, man. We don't sit around and wait, man. And that offensive line, okay, in 2 weeks, how much better are they gonna get? Like, I mean, I understand playing together makes you better, and as the season goes on. But man, put them in against the Bengals, man. We want to win, man. We've been in Chicago dealing with, man. We've been dealing with Mitch Trubisky and cats that ain't at that level. We got somebody at the level, somebody we can champion. We want to see them in the game. It's entertainment too. We want to see the stars play, man.
No, I'm with you. Let him get the reps now. It's not really like Chicago's going to do too much this year anyway. Okay. Colin, let me ask you this. Now, Stephen A. is going to say, like, you're being Dear Abby, but this is the truth. As it comes in terms of things like what I watch, what I listen to, I'm careful to not put negative things into my psyche. I really try to be positive. And you have a new album coming out. Please talk to us about that, A Beautiful Revolution Part 2, where you're spreading positivity.
Yeah, well, A Beautiful Revolution Part 2 is out right now. And really, I created the album. I wanted it to be something that would give people inspiration, give people joy. We've been dealing with a lot. And music itself, you know, whether it's Earth, Wind, and Fire, or whether it's Minnie Riperton and Shaka Khan, or some of the new artists like her, it brings good energy and love. And hip-hop has done that for me throughout my life. And during this time in the pandemic, I kind of was sitting listening to a lot of 90s hip-hop. Stephen A., I heard you talk about Biggie at times. I was listening to Biggie and Nas and Mobb Deep and these guys. And it just brought me to a level where I was like, I want to hear music that uplifts and that inspires. So I just wanted to put some music out that was hopeful, and that's what the album is.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's special,
and it's
man.
hip-hop.
You special.
Thank you.
You special. Keep doing your
brother.
thing. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Beautiful Revolution.
Beautiful Revolution Part 2 available now. Common, thank you so much for being with us. We so appreciate you.
Thank
you.
I
love the shirt, too.
I'll be looking for you, though.
The pinstripes.
I'll be looking for you, though.